That's the car, only maroon. Yeah. Beautiful vehicle.
I like that. I like that, too. Now to our coverage of Women's History Month. And this morning, we're looking at the impact of the pandemic on women in work. Nearly 3 million women have left the workforce during the pandemic. Among working mothers, a survey shows that 2 in 5 have taken a step back from work, or at least are considering it. Many cite childcare as the reason. Tammy Birch, she is from Chanute, Kansas, is one of them. She's a single mother who says she had no option but to leave her job because she could not afford childcare for her 2 children after school.
Hey, girl, how was your day at school? It was the scariest thing I've ever done to leave my job.
Before the pandemic, Tammy Birch was able to bring her 10-year-old twins to the assisted living facility where she worked.
I had to quit because the facility went on lockdown. I couldn't bring my kids to work anymore. I didn't have anybody for childcare, so of course I had to stay home with them. I've looked for temporary jobs online where I could work from home, but there really isn't anything around here that I can do without a college degree.
Kansas Department of Labor and Employment Benefits Line.
Birch received unemployment benefits for several months, but they ended abruptly last October. She was told her account was flagged for fraud and provided all requested documents. Tammy says the Kansas Department of Labor told her in January she still qualifies for benefits and that they are sorting it out. But she has still not received any new unemployment checks.
I spend a good 3-4 hours on the phone every day, if not more. I have no money. I have $0.
With no income or savings, Birch is now $10,000 in debt.
It's hard for me to keep a smile on my face and to tell them everything's going to be okay when I'm not sure myself.
Birch continues to look for a job where she can work from home, but she doesn't know what the future holds.
I think it's going to take quite a bit of time to recover from this. It's going to be building from ground zero for me.
After CBS News contacted the Kansas Department of Labor, it called Tammy and told her it has now filed all of her claims, which now paves the way for her to get all the money. Joining us now is some financial advisors for women. Financial advice is what she's trying to say for women like Tammy. Is CBS News business analyst, that's Jill Schlesinger. Good morning to you, Jill. So,
good morning.
What's the best use of the money, do you think, for people who are in the situation that Tammy is in?
You know, I think about these women who are really struggling, and I say the most important thing you can do is save any money. And we know that big checks are going to start flowing in. $1,400 stimulus checks, child care tax credits. That money's going to come in. So do what most Americans have been doing with their excess cash. They've been saving it. Last month, Gayle, we saw the savings rate pop up over 20%. You wind the clock back maybe 10, 15 years, nobody was saving a dime. So please, save, save, save before you start paying those bills. Make it really safe.
Sometimes it's so hard to save, Jill, when you don't have the money to save. So I'm looking at women who are thinking about leaving the job or considering it at some point. What do you think they should be thinking about financially?
I think that the best plan of action is to really detail what your expenses are. So this can happen suddenly. We know that. So even if you have a job, you really should be looking at what are my essential things that I have to pay. And you know what's essential? Food. Everything else is negotiable. But, you know, the categories include food and shelter and utilities. You heard Tammy say she accumulated debt. A lot of people will get some money, maybe from unemployment. They'll think, I should pay down my debt. No, you need to keep that money safe, and you're really looking at food first. Everything else is negotiable, and remember, you can never hide. In a situation where you've lost your job suddenly, you've got to notify every single person that's out there, whether you owe money to them, a utility provider, a landlord. Get on the record and say, COVID has impacted my life, and this is whether you leave voluntarily or involuntarily. Remember, Tammy is actually really classified as a voluntary, but she doesn't feel that way. She had no one to take care of her kids. So she has to really notify everyone out there.
Obviously, Jill, people are really worried about health care in this pandemic. If you've lost your job, what are your health care options?
Well, you know, with this new bill that was just passed, I want people to pay attention to the Affordable Care Act. For the next 2 years, premiums are capped at 8.5% of your modified adjusted gross income. That means way more people are going to qualify for the Affordable Care Act. Also, remember, you'll get more tax credits. There is, of course, Medicaid if you need it. And as we know, there is COBRA. COBRA is existing coverage, which the government will pay for from April